exactly what happens with our signature talk when we start off great, everybody's engaged, but then we fail to end well. I heard one speaker likening it to landing a plane. A speaker who doesn't know how to effectively do this just circles and circles and hovers and never ever comes down. Hey sis, welcome to the Entrusted Women Podcast, a one-point podcast created to equip Christian women communicators of color. Now, every episode focuses on a single point to equip you in one of four areas: purpose, writing, speaking, and business. Along the way, I will share stories, lessons, tips, mistakes, and real-time experiences that I am currently learning on my journey as a Christian woman communicator of color. Now, let's dive into episode 50. What? Raise the roof. Today's one point is, in your signature talk, the conclusion is just as important as the introduction. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and every dish was exceptional, except the dessert? I mean, the appetizers were amazing. Your entree was seasoned to perfection, but when you got to the dessert, it was less than desirable, honey. What a letdown. This is exactly what happens with our signature talk when we start off great, everybody's engaged, but then we fail to end well. I heard one speaker likening it to landing a plane. A speaker who doesn't know how to effectively do this just circles and circles and hovers and never ever comes down. This is why I'm going to share with you 5 strong endings for your signature talk. Number 1 is the sandwich. I love this method because it gives you an introduction too. We need this. With this type of ending, you open your talk with a story, but you don't conclude the story. You leave the audience hanging on a cliffhanger until the very end of your talk when you give the conclusion of your story to just drive that point home. This is a very powerful way to conclude your signature talk. Another way to end a signature talk is with a call to action, or a CTA. Listen, you have a captive audience for 30 to 45 minutes. We need to capitalize on this. This is your opportunity to offer them a free gift in exchange for joining your community or getting your newsletter if they want to keep in touch with you. This can be facilitated via a QR code or even a text messaging service. Whatever you offer should be in line with what you talked about in your signature talk. For example, if I did a talk on creating a Facebook group, then I might offer a digital download for a checklist of things you need to do before creating a Facebook group. There should be some type of connection between the CTA and the talk that you give. The third way to close the signature talk is with a recap. You may even want to include the audience members in this recap as you talk about the key points, especially if you said these points in a memorable way, like an acronym or a rhyme. The fourth way to end your signature talk is with a story. And if you haven't seen my video on stories, go back and watch it. This may be a personal story that packs a punch. For example, in my talk, Forgiving What Seems Impossible to Forget, I share my story of asking my father for permission to talk about our relationship in my book, Overcoming Father Wounds, with the world. I also share my father's unexpected response. It never fails. Every single time I tell this story, people are on the edge of their seat in terms of engagement and wanting to know how the story ends. The final way to end a signature talk, it really depends on your audience, but I suggest a prayer. I have primarily been in Christian spaces, so it has been an appropriate ending for me to pray. But if you are at a corporate event, maybe not so much. Prayer puts a nice bow on our signature talk. It gives the audience a little closure. With any audience, if we have done an effective job of communicating, they should be in a vulnerable place at the end of our talk, depending on the content that we share. This is our opportunity to help them turn that emotion into a tangible next step or an action that they are going to take. If we are in a Christian space, it may be a decision regarding their relationship with God. It may be a decision that they need to make in their family. It could be to buy my book. That could be the decision that we're urging them to make, or book a coaching call. Ultimately, as speakers, we need a plan, but we also need options, and we need to read the room. It may be appropriate to end in a different way than we planned, but we must be sensitive and paying attention to the needs of our audience because it's about them anyways. If you are interested in learning more about signature talk, speaking, and all the things, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass entitled Get Booked Christian Speaker. Yes, girl. I'll be talking about my 4-part signature system for booking speaking engagements, 10 ways to get paid speaking engagements, 5 non-negotiable components of a speaking page, and 4 characteristics of a signature talk. If you are interested in any of those things, simply click the link in the description section below. I also want to invite you to join our Facebook group. It's free, girl. Join our community of entrusted women that are focused on determining the message that we have been entrusted with and the intentional purpose that God created us for. I love that. All you need to do in order to find the Facebook group is to click the link in the description section below this video. And join me next week as we talk about 3 ways to make an upsell.